was just horrible.
Have some fresh tea, my dear. I've just brewed it.
I really don't think I could drink at a time like this. Well, you see, I was feeling like such a fool. I just tried to coax something out of Beatrice, and I was totally rebuffed. And then earlier that day, I'd been totally rebuffed by the man named Peter. So I decided to return to his nature sanctuary and get the confession that I wanted. But when I arrived there, oh dear, what I saw. I was atop a hill, you see? A nice, beautiful hill looking down, and all the animals grazing in a circle. I thought it was a puddle or something that they were grazing upon, so I came closer to look. And there they were, dear. Goats, a grouping of skunks, a gaggle of geese, a murder of crows, all gnawing at the flesh of this man, Peter. Why, he was just a pile of bones.
Even the goats were gnawing at him?
Well, his clothing appeared to be made of some sort of organic material. Yes, they weren't eating the skin, but oh, it was such a sight to see. You see, I don't think the man fed them enough. I was there trying to get him to feed them, and he just threw a bale of hay or something at them, and, well, they turned on him. That's what I thought, at least, until I discovered some foul play.
Tell me more.
You see, his body, when I gave a further look, and it wasn't hard because all his organs were laid about, I smelled poison. A poison which is illegal in the UK, a poison which is used for taxidermy.
Don't tell me it was formaldehyde.
I believe so, Jane. That was the one, formaldehyde.
Oh, no, that is illegal in the UK.
I don't know why they don't just use glue. That's how it works, right?
Yes.
So obviously, that leads me to believe that the one behind it is that family who is under that mime man, Philippe. Why they practice taxidermy, and obviously, have you heard anything about these chemicals?
I have. I've been exposed to them before. Last year, when I was in Brazil. Yes, I travel quite a bit for such an old lady. But I was in Brazil, and there it is not illegal. And I tell you, it is used both for the animals and for murder.
Oh, dear.
So who do you think it was? Who's on your suspect list?
Well, my list...
Your top person, your number one.
Well, Jane, I quite believe that it might be Cynthia who's behind all this.
Cynthia. Why do you think it's Cynthia?
Well, I can only put together that the skunk tails that were used in the first two murders, who would have access to it?
Oh, no, it can't be her. I know the evidence might point that way, but she's such a sweet girl. Well, in fact, she reminds me of someone.
Who's that?
Last year, I also vacationed in New Zealand.
Jane, you really must start inviting me. I enjoy vacations too.
Yes.
I wish to go on holiday with you sometime.
And I met this girl at the inn. She was the innkeeper, and she was so kind, and she loved the animals, and she had the same sweet disposition that our Cynthia does. No, it can't be Cynthia.
Okay, number two, her mother.
My dear, I tell you what, you keep doing your work, I'll keep doing mine, we come back. I have my suspicions, but I can't quite get the evidence yet. Let's reconvene after.
Philippe! Henri! Philippe, hello there.
I'm sorry to interrupt you while you're working here in the park on your pedestal.
I call this les bird bath.
Philippe, will you be able to take a break here for a moment?
Certainly. But please, make it quick, for mine is a terrible thing to waste.
Philippe, I must tell you something.
Yes.
At first it was only a suspicion, but I'm afraid I have proof now.
Of what?
The murders. Your daughter Cynthia is the murderess.
No!
She is! You see, I was at your house. I found skunk tails beneath the table. I accused her of being the murderess. She denied it, and I thought for surely I was making a mistake, perhaps. And so I went back to apologize to her. And when I went to apologize, the maid let me in. I went up the stairs and I went to her parlor door in order to knock on it. But before I could knock on it, I heard a strange sound. I listened with my ear to the door. It was some type of chanting with a Caribbean beat with which I was unfamiliar. And so I peered open the door just a bit to look inside, and there she was. There was Cynthia on the floor, surrounded by a circle of some white powder, holding my parrot and my rabbit in her hands. She was awfully mesmerized. I tell you, there's something evil with that girl, and if there's something that evil with her, then murder cannot be far behind.
Oh, then my worst fears have come true.
You were afraid of that?
All my life I have dealt with a curse. For some reason that I can't explain, I attract skunks. All my life, it seemed every time I opened my mouth to speak, skunks were coming from left and right. This is why I became a mime. One day I met a British woman who told me about taxidermy. She would take any skunk that came my way and get rid of it for me. Well, then we had a daughter, and alas, her passion mirrored that of my wife's, and not my own. I wanted her to marry that Peter. Have you heard that he has also been murdered?
I didn't know.
Yes. After I expressly instructed her to marry him. I think that the women of this town, they've all gone mad, and I think they're being led into some sort of crazy Caribbean cult by Beatrice. My wife spends time over there, and then she's brought my daughter in on it.
Oh, Philippe. Beatrice. Your wife.
Yes.
As long as we are confessing secrets, I am in love with her.
Which one?
If I'm not mistaken, it's Beatrice. Your wife. The woman who tends to wear the blue floral print.
Philippe forgot that his wife's name was Claire. After that was cleared up, the conversation continued.
Oh, Claire! Oh, well, that nonsense about Beatrice, never mind.
You're in love with my wife!
No, I'm in love with Beatrice, who you said was your wife, and I was so befuddled and addlepated by love, I didn't know what you were saying.
I meant to say that my wife is under Beatrice's spell.
Beatrice is the woman I love.
She's a cult leader!
No!
Yes! They have their tea over there, and they come back talking of strange ceremonies with dead animals and mixing chemicals. I've got a whole vat of formaldehyde in my back room.
Do you mean to tell me that my new love, Beatrice, is leading a cult consisting of your wife,
Claire,
and your daughter,
Cynthia,
and who is the first woman with whom I had an affair?
Melanie! It is on your neck, man!
Yes! I should have put it on my hands! Do you see
that today you have been spying on our daughter. This man hates women. Don't let him near our home or anywhere near my daughter.
Do you mean to say you have had unsupervised visits in my home?
Yes! The maid saw him sneak up and look into her room. He brought her things to taxidermy. You, sir, are an abomination.
And
every woman who comes near you dies. You've tricked women. You've told them you were doing CPR. You, sir, you belong in the grave, if not in hell.
And he was just trying to trick me as well. He told me that you perhaps had something to do with the death of these women. I'm sorry, I had a brief moment of weakness and I doubted, but just for a minute, I laughed.
Don't you leave. We're calling in the inspector and Miss Marple.
If you have something to say to me, out with it.
That's not enough what I've said. That you tricked women into getting naked so that you could do CPR on them. Have you heard of this?
Philippe, you remember only moments ago how you were telling me the women are all under a spell. Isn't this proof perfect of it? I came to see your daughter because I was to apologize to her.
You, sir, are the spell maker. You're Satan.
Philippe, this woman is crazed, and if she gets you as well, then I'm really lost. Please, Philippe, you must understand who's telling the
Detective
truth.
Inspector?
Yes. Please come in, Miss Marple. Yes, detective.
Miss Marple, it appears that we have wandered into the wrong home. This is meant to be a
Don't
private
mind us.
meeting.
We're having a private meeting.
No, come quickly. I have much to tell you.
Well, I suppose while we're
Don't you
here...
dare go anywhere. You sit right there in that chair, Mr. Henri.
Miss
I
Marple,
like your energy, ma'am.
Thank you. Sit down.
Jane! That's him! That's the man who stole my wallet as a child! Smith, get in here! Inspector, that is preposterous. I'm sure all minds look the same to you. Oh, we are always getting mistaken and blamed for everything in France. I don't want to hear a thing you have to say. You better come quietly. The statute of limitations has not run out. Take this man.
Detective, this is much more important.
Oh, what's that? No.
No.
This is mine and punishment.
Oh my God. What? Are we letting that man flee? Miss Marple.
And next, Detective Inspector and I had a private chat.
Jane, I'm sorry.
Detective Inspector, I'm so sorry for the craziness of this afternoon, but thank you for meeting me in your office.
Yes, would you like a seat? I'm sorry.
Oh, it's quite all right.
I will
dear.
take one then.
My dear, it appears that there is some misunderstanding. I don't quite understand why. Everyone seems to think that cults involve women and only women and head by women. It could be either gender, could it not?
I didn't understand what you said.
Well, don't you know I've been eavesdropping on conversations, and, well, I figured out who the murderer is.
You have? Was it the mine? Did I get him?
My dear, I just don't have the evidence. Not yet. But you see,
There must be something we can do.
we're going to lay a trap.
Cynthia. I suppose you heard about the ruckus that broke out in London Square and fought and traveled its way all the way back into the house, involving your mother and me.
And my skunks.
Your mother, you see, she was accusing me of being the murderer. She didn't understand that I had come to your house, you see, to apologize to you, because I had thought better about accusing you. But
Oh, you changed your mind.
yes,
You no longer think I'm a murderer.
Cynthia, I tell you, I peeked into the door. I saw you. I saw you in your chalk circle. I saw you with your incantation as you held on to my beloved parrot, Matilda.
Yes, Matilda. That's what it says.
Yes. And it made me realize that you and I have quite a bit in common.
Oh, please, no.
A certain flair for Caribbean vacations.
I do enjoy a good Caribbean vacation.
And yet, I need to tell you, you were doing it wrong.
Oh.
You see,
What do you mean? I wasn't really doing an incantation. I was working on Matilda and whatever.
the only
It's right there.
way
You're
to
scaring me.
thoroughly summon the full power is to hold the rabbit in your left hand and the parrot in your right. And it only works when you cast your spell if people first drink tea soaked in the fish of the Okinawa Canal, which I have been surreptitiously putting into the teapots of all the hounds in St. Mary Mead.
That explains all the flavor.
Yes, it does. But you see, in order to truly have the full power, 2 deaths are not enough.
No.
There must be 3!
Get away from that!
Oh, what? Is that Henry? Henry! Remember me from United States of America? Oh, Henry!
Sally, this is hardly the time.
I'm right there.
You sadistic, twisted man!
Kill him, Miss Marple, and I will personally stuff him.
No need for that. Why, Jane, this makes perfect sense. As I forgot before, formaldehyde, the reason that it is illegal here is because one of the symptoms of inhaling it is forgetting people's names. And obviously, a single person's name, he had to tattoo them on his body like mementos of some sort.
All right, Miss Marple. It seems you laid a trap and I'm the mouse that ate the cheese. How did you know?
How did I know? All the women around you. You have them tattooed on your body. It's like he said, you could not remember their names. And I saw your left wrist the other day. There's a rune on there. You should have hid it better. And when I was in the Caribbean last year, in the news was the name of a man. You had a different name back then. Jared. Yes, Jared ran away. They never caught him. But he had killed 3 other women there.
What about Peter?
Yes.
Peter's a man.
No, he wasn't.
But I can vouch for that. That's why he could not give you children.
Yes, that's right. I thought Peter might do as well as a woman, what with knowing him and everything. But apparently it wasn't enough. And so a real female third was required. But apparently your travels have taught you well, Miss Marple.
They have. Take him away. My dear.
Oh, Jane, thank you for saving my life.
My dear, nothing will ever, poor or bad will ever come upon you. You stay sweet, always.
As you should as well. Thank you so much.
Detective Inspector. Another one in the books?
Yes, we finally caught that mime. and yes, the man. Yes.
But I am very happy for you. You finally put that childish nightmare to bed.
Well, Jane, it's the funniest thing. I was trying to solve this murder. Goodbye, Cynthia. And I was going through old case files, and I came upon a box from my childhood. And you know what I found inside? It was an album of photos taken in Paris. And at the bottom, it was my wallet. The mime never took it.
Oh!
I harbored this grudge for so many years, and it was rather silly, so, well, I've actually had a lot of time where I've talked to Philippe, and we've become very good friends.
Oh, good. In the last just 2 minutes that happened.
We were fast friends. You were very good.
You're very quick. Good.
Oh, Detective Inspective, we discovered that this man is guilty only of being a mime. We found nothing of criminal intent. We release him.
Of course not.
I just wanted to come by and tell you that although prison was hell, they did not even have to put me in a cell. They just told me to stand there like this.
Sorry, you go. You don't speak a lot.
I did steal your wallet that day, but I only just yesterday, before coming back here, returned it to your house. It was all part of my greatest trick!
You're so cute.
I'm so sorry. For so many years, I've treated all mines the same. It's as if I was putting them in a box.
It's all right. I want to thank you for reuniting my family. I see now that I was wrong to try to make you marry someone and to have little mime babies.